When examining the figure of Lucifer, often called the morning star, we encounter a being described as the most radiant of all divine creations. The traditional image of heaven is often idealized, but ancient texts suggest a realm of unimaginable beauty and order. Lucifer, known as the Lightbringer, is depicted as a central figure whose presence and voice were said to shape the very fabric of heaven, with each note giving birth to new stars. Accounts often describe Lucifer as a conductor of celestial choirs, orchestrating cosmic wonders and inspiring awe among the angels. Yet, even the most luminous figures can cast significant shadows, a theme that recurs in many interpretations of the story. Lucifer's influence extended to his peers, who looked to him for guidance and inspiration. However, this admiration may have also sown the seeds of pride. In many accounts, Lucifer is positioned at the apex of celestial hierarchy, a confidant and right hand to the divine. The narrative often emphasizes Lucifer's kindness and leadership, but also hints at the gradual emergence of pride, a trait that would ultimately lead to his downfall. The introduction of a new creation, humanity, marks a pivotal moment in the story. This event is often depicted as the catalyst for Lucifer's internal conflict, as the perfection of heaven is challenged by the existence of mortals. The seed of doubt, once planted, is nurtured by pride and uncertainty. The concept of perfection in heaven is revealed to be fragile, susceptible to change and disruption. As the narrative progresses, the growth of doubt and darkness within Lucifer becomes more apparent, foreshadowing the coming conflict. The destinies of angels and humanity become intertwined, setting the stage for a cosmic struggle that will redefine both realms. When examining the story of Lucifer, doubt emerges as a central theme. It functions much like a weed. Once present, it tends to overtake everything else. The narrative presents Lucifer as unable to comprehend the introduction of humanity. Angels are depicted as perfect and eternal, while humans are seen as flawed and transient. This raises a fundamental question: how could beings so imperfect be considered the image of the divine? At this point in the myth, Lucifer is compelled to investigate these new creations for himself. The accounts often describe Lucifer as both fascinated and disturbed by humanity, recognizing their beauty, but also their susceptibility to error. This duality appears to be a source of both intrigue and temptation. The myth suggests that Lucifer was not alone in his skepticism. Other angels began to question the divine plan as well. This is where influence becomes a key factor. Lucifer's charisma and persuasive abilities are often highlighted as he encourages others to consider alternative perspectives. While he may have rationalized his actions as open-mindedness, the underlying motivation seems to be a growing sense of power and control. The ease with which Lucifer sways others is notable. Subtle suggestions and quiet influence gradually shift the loyalty of the angels. This process is often interpreted as Lucifer assuming a godlike role, blurring the line between leader and usurper. The myth also implies that these manipulations had a transformative effect on Lucifer himself. Each act of rebellion contributed to his own fall, dimming his original light. When examining the transformation of Lucifer from the morning star to the Accuser, it is essential to consider the pivotal moments that shaped this shift. Here, we see Lucifer standing before the heavenly host, visibly conflicted, a visual representation of the internal struggle between pride and obedience. The question arises, why would a being so close to divinity begin to question the very purpose of creation? This doubt, reflected in Lucifer's eyes, marks the beginning of a profound transformation. The resulting schism among the angels illustrates how a single question can ripple outward, dividing even the most unified of hosts. The confrontation between God, Michael, and Lucifer is a classic example of authority being challenged by conviction.
Lucifer, my morning star, why do you question my plan?
Lucifer's response, marked by emotional intensity, underscores the depth of his disagreement with the divine order. The division within the assembly highlights the contagious nature of dissent. The ensuing conflict can be interpreted as both a literal and metaphorical battle between light and shadow, order and chaos. The first celestial war, depicted here, represents the ultimate consequence of ideological division. For Lucifer, this conflict is not just external but deeply personal, as seen in the montage of his memories. The act of Michael striking Lucifer is symbolic of the severing of ties between former allies. Lucifer's cry here signifies the moment his connection to the divine is irreparably broken. The transformation that follows is both physical and existential. The fall itself is often interpreted as a metaphor for alienation and loss. Each moment of descent represents a new stage in Lucifer's transformation from angelic to demonic. The shifting emotions captured here reflect the complexity of his journey. Ultimately, Lucifer's transformation is not just a fall, but a redefinition of identity. In choosing to become something new, Lucifer embraces a form of freedom, albeit at great cost. This final image encapsulates the enduring legacy of Lucifer's choice, a symbol of rebellion, loss, and transformation. When examining the mythos of Lucifer, the transformation from the morning star to the archetypal accuser is particularly striking. The imagery of the lake of fire, for instance, serves as a powerful symbol of both punishment and rebirth within many traditions. Lucifer's descent is often interpreted as a metaphor for radical change, an unraveling of identity followed by a reconstitution into something new. The transformation depicted here is not just physical but existential. In many retellings, this moment marks the birth of a new role, the adversary. The pain and loss described in these stories are often interpreted as the cost of self-actualization or rebellion. The question arises, was this transformation inevitable, or was it a consequence of divine intent? Some scholars suggest that the creation of an adversary was necessary for the cosmic balance between good and evil. Embracing this new identity, Lucifer becomes a symbol of both defiance and freedom. The famous phrase, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven," encapsulates the enduring appeal of autonomy even in exile. The presence of other fallen angels highlights the communal aspect of rebellion. This was not a solitary act. The throne room imagery reinforces Lucifer's new authority and the establishment of a counter-kingdom. The rallying of the fallen suggests a narrative of solidarity and shared purpose among the exiles. Lucifer's attention to humanity is a recurring theme. He is often portrayed as both tempter and accuser, testing the limits of human nature. This duality, challenger and critic, reflects ongoing debates about the nature of evil and free will. The cosmic triptych visually represents the interplay between heaven, hell, and earth. Lucifer's invitation to mortals is often interpreted as a call to question authority and seek personal freedom. The great game between heaven, hell, and humanity is a central motif in literature and theology, symbolizing the struggle for meaning and autonomy. The evolution from morning star to accuser marks a profound shift in the character's mythological function. Rather than a simple villain, Lucifer becomes a complex figure, one that invites endless interpretation. The fascination endures. Artistic representations across history reflect changing attitudes toward rebellion, authority, and the nature of evil. Even in modern media, Lucifer's image continues to evolve, adapting to new cultural contexts. The story of Lucifer remains a powerful lens through which to explore questions of identity, freedom, and the human condition.